he's doing stuff that you should not be doing as an 18-year-old picked outside the top 10 in the NHL. He plays so beyond his age. And hell, hey, man, going into training camp, I was like, hey, if he has a great camp, that's great. I even said on my show, there's no way he's going to make the NHL roster. What a dummy I look like. And I still look clueless because, like, yeah, he'll maybe get a few games and still go back to junior. I took a massive L on that. And this is coming from someone who was a huge fan of the pick. There were a lot of people who did not like this pick at the time. You should have went for Victor Eklund. And yeah, he was top 5 on my board of the players that I watch. But Ben Kindel was a great pick at that time because I saw what he did in junior hockey. And I was like, I think he could really help the Penguins. I didn't think he would go that high. But, looking back at it now, Nick, where do you think he would go? Probably top 5 if I had to say, if we had to do a redraft. Definitely top 5 with the way he's playing. And it's crazy. You saw the reports tonight, like he could be loaned to the World Juniors. Josh Elliott of The Athletic said, no, that's not happening. And that is the right call. There is no reason to loan him to the World Juniors, especially with this team in the playoff race. Harrison Brunick, that's a different story. I think he should go there. I think he could use that for his development. But with the way Ben Kindel is playing, the way that he is driving offense literally by himself on his line, no matter who his line mates are, you have to keep him in this lineup. I don't want him going to the World Juniors and playing against teenagers. God forbid he gets hurt. Like, that would just be worst case scenario. But he continues to get better and better in every game that he plays. It's astonishing, really.
I mean, even with taking out the if he gets hurt, anything like that, losing him for a couple of weeks in a stretch where it's December, it's January, you don't play games in February. You play maybe a handful of games in February because of the Olympic break. And then all of a sudden you have to make a decision at the trade deadline because March rolls around really quickly. If you take him out for a couple of weeks in that late December to early January slot, you're missing a huge part of your team and a pivotal part of the season, especially with the Eastern Conference being extremely close right now, razor thin, especially in the Metro Division. One bad week, one good week could completely change where your team is sitting. So I think that is 100% the right call. I was surprised to see any of it. I didn't really believe it. And of course, when Josh put out the rebuttal, I was like, that makes more sense. That makes a heck of a lot more sense. But since we're on the topic of 2025 draft picks that are performing way better than expected, I mean, I can't have you on and not talk about Will Horcoff, man. 19 goals, somebody who is going to head to World Juniors and is probably going to put on a show for Team USA. I mean, this kid is somebody who has his head on his shoulders the correct way, talking about a second-generation star whose father was not just an NHL player, but a captain in the National Hockey League. The kid just seems to be, again, similar to something we've said about Ben Kindel, years or wise beyond his age. And I think that is also what's leading to this season for him. And I understand we're going to have to be patient with him, but if he gets the opportunity to continue doing what he's doing, if he leads Team USA to a nice run in World Juniors, if he leads Michigan to a run to the Frozen Four, there's going to be a serious conversation over the summer of what do you do with this kid? Do you ask him to leave school early and give him an opportunity next year?
Right. That's going to be the big kicker. Like, if he continues this stellar season, I mean, Nick, right now, he's probably, I mean, it's not probably, he is in the conversation for the Hobie Baker with the way 100%. He has been one of the best players in college hockey. His line mate, Michael Hage, has also been fantastic this year. But every time I feel like Horcoff can't keep getting away with this, he just scores in the next game. His release is disgusting. The way that he plays in the offensive zone, I think the skating has also been better this year compared to where it was last year. And last year, it's funny, he joined Michigan at the end of the season, has 4 goals, 10 points in 18 games. And you could tell that he was really trying to figure things out. Like, he was not even close to the player that you see now. And then over the offseason, he goes to development camp. And I get it. Development camp, it's a lot of glorified practices and a couple scrimmages. You can't really glean too much. But there were a couple times where I noticed, like, okay, there is something here. And he goes out to start the season in Michigan, and he lights the NCAA up on fire. I'm still wanting him to carry the puck more into the offensive zone himself. But if he's going to keep finishing plays the way that he has, you're just going to take this. Like, it really has been ridiculous what he's been able to do on that team. And you're right. If he keeps it up, they're going to have a conversation. Do you sign your ELC now and turn pro and maybe you start the season in Wilkes-Barre, or do you go back to Michigan? Me, as of right now, I think he could still maybe benefit one more year at Michigan before he turns pro. This was always someone at the time who I felt like was a little more of a project compared to Kindel and Bill Zonin. And if Zonin stays fully healthy this year, I think he could have a pretty big year for his team. But you don't want to rush someone like this. He's off to a great start. He's been one of the best players in the NCAA. If he continues it, also has the World Juniors and is also able to go deep, I would still have the conversation. Hey, we feel like you could still maybe benefit one more year in college hockey before turning pro. But again, it's still going to be a tough call.